A stabbing suspect running from police jumps off a roof. A witness sent us video of it happening. In a business down below, a person who was attacked died.
3 people, including the suspect, were injured. The violence happened in 2 different Austin businesses. Austin police say it all started with an altercation between someone and a customer at Bennu Coffee Shop. That's on South Congress in the 515 South Congress Shopping Center. Police say customers inside the coffee shop were able to pin the attacker down, and those people played a key role in catching the 27-year-old suspect.
It was extremely important that they intervened and got involved and detained the individual. We don't recommend individuals getting involved in a situation, but they chose to do that, and it was helpful. Still,
the attacker managed to escape and run to Freebirds, which is in the same shopping center, where police believe he stabbed 2 people inside. The restaurant had not yet opened for business for the day. One of the stabbing victims, a man, was pronounced dead at the scene. The second person who was stabbed was taken to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries. After the stabbing, an officer chased the suspect. That's when he managed to climb onto the roof of Freebirds before jumping off. He was taken to the hospital with those injuries. And we just spoke with a former Freebirds co-worker and friend of the young man who was killed this morning.
KXAN's Phil Prazan is live outside the crime scene there with those details for us. Phil.
Well, Sydney, the friend tells us he worked side by side in Freebird's kitchen from 2008 to 2016 with the victim. We are not releasing the victim's name because police have not confirmed to us that all the family has been notified. But the friend tells us the victim was in his 20s and a father with 1 child and called him a beautiful, kind, loving soul. The friend said they both regularly came in early before opening to prep food. He said the restaurant has 2 doors and they'd often leave them unlocked once workers were inside. He says during his 8 years working there, it was like a tight-knit family with all of the employees. He tells us the victim's brother and sister-in-law also work at this Freebirds. And I also spoke to people who witnessed the foot chase between police and the suspect, witnessed it and heard it. We're going to bring you that on KXAN News coming up at 6 o'clock. Live in Austin, Phil Prazan, back to you in the studio.
A really tough day, Phil. Thanks. Meanwhile, KXAN's Yoojin Cho spoke with someone who was inside the coffee shop when it all began. She's live at that end of the scene. Yoojin.
Yeah, Bennu is a popular spot for people who live and work nearby. Some people told me today that there's actually a group of people, mainly older folks, who gather here every Friday for a cup of coffee and to catch up. Some of them were starting to arrive, and many regulars were in line to get their coffee when all of this happened. Witnesses told me an older man who is part of the Friday group was hit by the suspect, and he was just talking to his wife.
And I know that it's got to be really scary for them. It was really scary to watch.
Stacy Romaine comes to Bennu just about every day. Friday was no different until...
I don't really know what the reason was.
She says she saw the suspect seemingly out of nowhere approach an older man and strike him in the head.
This man was completely unaware. He was with his wife, like facing this way, and the man came behind him with something in his hand from behind.
Romaine told us several people reacted immediately.
Someone on his laptop, another gentleman jumped on top of him, and people are trying to stop him, and even a police officer came through the door.
But despite 4 people's efforts to hold him down, Romaine says the suspect got away, running toward Freebirds. A woman who works next door saw all of this through the window from the parking lot.
I don't know, it was kind of scary, so I just kind of stayed in my vehicle to see what was going to happen. And it's a good thing I waited a little, because if I would have got off the car, I would have just ran into him.
An emotional and terrifying morning.
I feel it's unfortunate that any of this happened.
Romaine told me the man who was attacked inside this coffee shop was conscious and talking when EMS came in to help him. Now, Bennu is normally open 24/7, but tonight they are closed. They have a sign on their door saying they will reopen at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now, all throughout the day today, this entire parking lot was blocked off, and a lot of these stores here actually never even got a chance today to open. So a lot of the stores, like a clothing store here and the dentist office, they are closed tonight as well. Live in Austin, Yoojin, KXAN News.
Showing the Freebirds at that location for a stabbing victim.
There's a ladder that goes all the way to the top of the Freebird. He might be on top of the rooftop. Or this tall lady.
10-4.
I didn't want to.
Go ahead.
One Kenny jumped off the building on the west side of the building. Took a dive off the end of the building at Connors. That's on the Freebirds.
That's a portion of the dispatch calls from emergency services and police. We asked APD whether the suspect was having a mental health crisis or possibly homeless, and the officer said that it was too early to speculate about that. In the interest of understanding the timeline of how all of this unfolded, we are working to post the full radio calls on our website, KXAN.com. We'll have that online for you as soon as possible.
Bennu Coffee issued a statement following today's attack. They say they are heartbroken by it and are cooperating with authorities. They went on to say that the safety of their customers and employees is their #1 priority. The coffee shop is closed for the rest of the day. As we mentioned, they are not sure. Well, now they're saying they'll open at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Freebird's World Burrito says their thoughts are with their employees and families affected by the tragedy. They say their location on South Congress will also remain closed until further notice. While we don't know what kind of weapon the suspect used, we know Texas lawmakers relaxed knife laws in 2017. Governor Greg Abbott signed House Bill 1935 in June of that year. That was less than a month after a UT student stabbed 4 other students on the campus. Freshman student Harrison Brown was killed. House Bill 1935 made it legal to carry Bowie knives and other larger knives in more places around Texas. Brown's mother has been pushing for lawmakers to change that bill since her son's death.